about the power of music. How listening to words and the harmonies of the chords can bring us back like that, folks. That, to me, is a power that's a God-given gift. And in my presence, it is such an honor to be with a group that has shared that happiness with many generations. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dell Vikings. Can you applaud for yourselves? Yay!
Good morning.
Good morning. Usually it's audiences that applaud you. But before we start, I want to applaud you for sharing your gifts and making this world that sometimes has little chapters of, trouble, a better place, a happier place. Lovely to have you all with us, the Dell Vikings. Tomorrow night we have Todd Baptista's Doo Wop and the Sounds of the City. For the last 20 years, Todd has been bringing Doo Wop to the folks here on the South Coast, this time at the Zeiterion Theater. And I remember Todd coming in to the diner as we broadcast coast to coast and perpetuating the legacies of these great artists from yesteryear. Todd Baptista, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, Phil. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Here as well. Quickly, why do you do what you do?
I think I have a lifelong passion for the music, but especially for the people who made it.
Let me say one thing. In a world that everything seems to be, throw it away, if it doesn't work, boom, boom, boom. You perpetuate the legacies and you honor the genius of these groups, Dell Vikings, but all throughout the years. If it wasn't for somebody like yourself, a lot of things would have just gone by the wayside. So thank you for what you do, Todd. Thank you.
Well, it's a blessing for me because I approach the shows as a fan. And, there are people who call themselves certain acts, and there's nobody original there. So in the case of the Dell Vikings, what we wanted to do is bring together all of the living original members, people that recorded with them in the 50s, 60s, and put together a group and bring them here.
Wow. And after so many years, what brings you all together now? That's the question, right? Mm-hmm. What brings you all? And first of all, introduce yourselves. Let's start with you.
I'm Joe Lopes from East Freetown, Massachusetts.
That's right. Nice to have you with us.
I'm Ritzy Lee, live in Irvine, California.
Wonderful. Welcome to the land of the pilgrims.
My name is Doug White. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Welcome, Doug. Nice.
My name is Terry Young, and I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Terry, a pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Jason Powell. I currently live in Los Angeles, California as well.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you here. I know the audience tomorrow night is going to enjoy you and other groups that we'll talk about in just a moment. But what excites you the most about having a reunion like this? What excites you the most? Doug?
The love.
The love?
Yes, for what we do.
Yeah.
The opportunity to meet and greet people that we haven't seen for years.
Wow, that is. How about all of you? I'd like you to answer. What excites you about a reunion like this? That's historic, actually.
Well, first of all, music brings joy, and these guys I've known for so many years, and just to see them again and talk about the old times, you reminisce every time we're in the car.
Yes.
Rehearse, so
yes.
That is very important.
As we age, we may change. We are, may gain a little weight, may lose something here or there. The one thing, though, that remains steady is the love of singing and the voice. We may have aged, but we haven't aged when it comes to sharing that love and passion through our voices, right?
Very good.
And I think that's the constant that's going to be, part of tomorrow night's lure everyone. I can see it right now. Everyone is going to give you such a warm reception.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Todd, let me have you come on over here. As the producer of shows like this, what do you ask of groups like this? If you're writing a book, what would it be?
What do I ask?
Yeah, questions. What questions would you have to write down from them?
A lot of times I would ask things that, as a fan, I'm interested in. Maybe I'm listening to a song and I'm hearing a certain part, and even on the way over, whose voice is that? Who's singing this part?
Yeah.
Or Joe was talking, or just outside was talking about taking Whispering Bells from a slow song and speeding up the arrangement and making it an up-tempo song. Things like that are interesting to me. We were talking about a tour they did with Lloyd Price, and somebody lost a pair of diamond cufflinks that they let Lloyd use, and he handed them to girls in the audience. So we have fun with a lot of those, just a lot of the stories, a lot of the history, because these people are pioneers, and a lot of times they were nameless and they were faceless. And what we try to do is let people know their names, know their faces. In Europe, that happens. A lot of times they know who these people are. They know that Ritzy Lee joined in 1959, that he was on the ABC Paramount Records, that he's on this song or that, or that, some of the work that Terry's done. But in this country, it's not the same type of devotion, I think.
Sure.
And so we work to try and just let them be recognized for the things they've done.
When you first recorded, I believe one of the songs was In the Basement. Is that right, Ritzy? Yeah. In the Basement. Tell us about that. And did you feel as though it was going to be a hit when you were singing In the Basement?
Yes, Barry Kay was the disc jockey in Pittsburgh, and he's the one that recorded in his basement. And we had a great time doing it.
When you were recording it, did you have a sense about the song that, hey, this is going to go places, or was it just another song that you sang? What were you thinking when you were singing it?
It was a new experience for me, so I really didn't have, I was just happy doing it. I was on guitar.
Yeah. I want everyone to know that we embrace the Del Vikings with love from the heart. Love from the heart has no color. It is every color in the world. But the Del Vikings were one of the first racially integrated groups, which is absolutely to be applauded. I mean, Todd, when you think about this, this is historic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about that, because it is so beautiful. It really, really is.
Yeah, what was really beautiful about it
Yes.
is the guys in the group knew no color. From the beginning, they were in the Air Force. You know how the military is. There's no color because you depend on one another. But that's the way they presented themselves on stage and in the music. So it's, like you say, it's historic.
Yes.
This happened long before Martin Luther King and all that stuff. This was historic. It brought kids together. And what we used to see, remember, they had certain parts of the country that, like, a white audience downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Black audience upstairs, first show, second show, black audience downstairs, white audience. But those kids came together. They poured out of upstairs, came downstairs, and everybody was dancing together. Cops tried to stop it, but they couldn't. It was the youth of our generation that decided that we were going to make a change in the music.
Wow.
Because that's how we communicate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please, by all means, if you have anything to add, Ritzy and Doug, you go back to 1959,
Correct.
right? To the very beginnings. And was it a smooth transition for the two of you coming into recording and into touring, because you both were in the service? Was that a smooth transition for you?
Yeah, we loved it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I personally was not in the service.
Okay.
I started with the group when I was in my senior year in high school.
Right.
Yep.
And your seat. Where were you going to school? What
I
school?
was going to a school in Keys Rocks, Pennsylvania, called Miles Bryan High High School.
Have you been back to say hello to everyone and to inspire them to?
Yes, many. You know, it's amazing. You know, when you start going to your class reunions.
Oh my gosh, I can
And
imagine.
you remember how many years. The only sad part about it is quite naturally the fact that, you know, there would be so many absent faces. And
Sure.
That's the only pain. But it's
Sure.
beautiful to be able to rejoice and spend time with people that you haven't seen, like I said before, for years.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reunion is going to take place. You know, yes, you can see it here on the radio because I believe radio is the most visual of all mediums. But for your own eyes, on stage tomorrow night for Todd Baptista's wonderful concert. For 20 years now, you've been preserving the legacy of Doo Wop, so we hope to see you at the Zeiterion. Good tickets, good seats still are available, so make sure that you call for that. But I want to turn to Terry. You joined the group when? Give us an
It
indication.
was basically in the 70s when we the Del Vikings had a reunion, and we did the Midnight Special,
Right.
and that's when I joined the group.
And tell us a little bit
And
about
it was
that.
with Craig and Crip Johnson and myself and Ritchie Lee.
Yeah.
And then after a year or so, then Doug came back and sang with us again, but we toured all over.
Don't forget Billy G.
Oh, and Billy Woodruff sang lead.
Now, who sang with Bob Dylan? And
I did. Terry Young.
And tell us about how was that experience? What was that all about?
Well, Bob is a very different person, but he was really a loving person. And when I joined Bob's group, that's when Bob became a Christian. So I toured with him on the Serve Somebody tour. I also did the Grammys with him and Saturday Night Live.
Isn't that
And I did
amazing?
the recording with him
Yeah.
in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, with the Muscle Shoals sound.
That is amazing. You say that Bob Dylan became a Christian.
Yes.
Do you see a lot of transitions happening in life? You know?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of singers start out in the church, but I don't think Bob started out
Right.
as a singer in the church.
Right.
But you know, that calling was on his life, so he eventually became a Christian and wrote some great songs. And then when they did a revision of Bob's album, they hired me to do some arrangements, like for the Sounds of Blackness, and Shirley Caesar, she did some of Bob's songs also. And a lot of the gospel groups re-recorded Bob's hits, his gospel songs.
Beautiful. We are chatting with what will be a historic musical moment on the stage of the Zeiterion.
Yes.
The reunion of the extraordinary Del Vikings. And it doesn't matter if you spell it D-E-L or D-E-L-L or D-E-L hyphen or whatever. They do truly emulate excellence, and more than that, they go above and beyond in many, many ways, ladies and gentlemen. Terry, appreciate that. How about with Jason? Tell us a little bit about, are you the new guy in the group?
New guy.
I'm the new guy, yes, and I couldn't be more humbly in gratitude to be a part of this amazing venture, and I know tomorrow night's going to be historically blissful. That's the word.
Yes.
So I'm just so thankful to be a part of this and to be with true living legends. I've sung in many different groups, and Doo Wop has always been a part of my life. I was born and raised in San Francisco, and my father had me and my brother on the streets of San Francisco singing, and grew up with. The Persuasions were my original first introduction to the whole thing. So music was always a part of my life. I always gravitated or attracted that. And then years later, I went to New York for school, and I I was in college at the time, and I ran across these guys on the streets Doo Wop, and it's like, oh, and next thing you know, I end up opening my mouth, singing with them, and it was a group called Hard to Find, and we ended up doing, you know, all kind of stuff from TV shows and then even movies, and it was like, wow. And then more recently, I moved to LA and ended up singing with an amazing group called Street Corner Renaissance. And I sung with them for many years, and I did a lot of things with them. It was just, wow. So now it's like, now I'm at the pinnacle. I'm like, wow, the Dell Vikings, okay. So life is real and life is good.
It truly is. And you know what else life is? It is standing on a corner. You know, the simplicity of being on the corner and just sharing your harmonies together on a street corner, if you really think about the simplicity of that, and yet the beauty of it. Folks, you're going to feel and you're going to see music history on stage tomorrow night with the reunion of Joe Lopes and the Dell Vikings. And Joe, you have to tell us about what did you feel when you first heard about the reunion? What went through your mind, Joe?
Well, I met
Todd
some years back, and he's the one who told me about the Doo Wop. So he made sure I was either there in the audience, and he recognized me. One thing I want to say, that the two white guys that were originally with the group, Dave Lurchie and Gus Backus. Gus Backus is the only one still living, but he lives in Germany, and he couldn't come because he has dementia. I was fortunate he was transferred to Wiesbaden, Germany, and I became part of the group. I was originally traveled with them as a guitarist.
Yeah, so I hear. You know, I'm thinking in my heart here. All of you have gone through so many experiences. You're talking about Gus. What have you learned about life through what you've been through? If you had to give advice to a younger person, what have you learned about life itself, Joe Lopes?
Well, you've got to do good to everybody. You know, share music, share goodwill, and meet guys like this guy with "I am God's son" on his hat.
Ritzy has a hat that says, "I am God's son." And after we got done hugging, I said, "Me too." How about you, Ritzy? What have you learned? What would you pass along as some kind of love message?
The best love message is that I know is to have a spiritual relationship with everybody that you come in contact with, because there is good in everybody, and that spiritual contact will enhance your life, and your life is your life. Other people might want you to do other things than what you want to do, but you follow your dream, follow your gift, and do what you want to do, and your Heavenly Father will enhance your life and your dream.
Amen to that. Yeah. Amen to that. Doug, you've been through a lot of stages, a lot of musicians, a lot of folks applauding. Has any of that taught you anything about life itself? What do you gather from all your experiences?
Well, the main thing that I've gathered from my experiences, regardless of what the situation, be thankful that you're able to be a part of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that because we have been through, you know, turmoil that's like, for instance, real quick, like we were touring south. We couldn't even stay at hotels. We had to stay at guest homes.
I know.
Things of that nature. But it did not deter the love that we had for what we wanted to do.
That's amazing.
We just gave it all
you kept persevering. Kept persevering. You have no idea. Words don't even begin to describe the love that surrounds you and all that you have been through. It's an inspiration to, and I hope this new generation takes learning from that. You know, we're getting older, but I hope that they take a taste of that so that they can become better and then pass it on to theirs. Our newcomers, not really. Now, let's see. Terry, you have also appeared with Mary J. Blige and whatnot. You have appeared with many luminaries, but I want to know you personally. What have you learned about life?
Actually, what I've learned, I've traveled all over the world, and you know, in different countries, the language is different. But one thing about music is a universal language. And I've been to Japan and all over, and to just see the audience smile because of the songs,
Right.
because of the music. So music is a big key. So that has been a glue in my life.
Yes, how beautiful. Absolutely. Elmer's or otherwise? I don't know.
Crazy.
Jason, Jason,
Yes.
you're young, but I'm sure your wisdom also, you get, how is it that, you know, being with luminaries like this, like the Dell Vikings, what kind of experience and effect has it had on your life?
Well, my life personally has had a profound effect because I learn from them, from everyone who's gone through certain things. Doesn't mean that I won't make certain mistakes as I grow older, but I will be able to make better choices. And so I try to observe and listen. I'm the type, especially when it's an older person who's been involved in music and all that. I'm the type, I would talk at times, but I would shut up and listen, like bend my ear. And I always do that so I can do that to people who are younger than me, keep passing it on. I'm a teacher as well. And so that's my day job, you know, so to speak. And I teach English and music. And I try to incorporate the things I've learned from my predecessors, and I just pass it on. But not just, just tools that I learned from life.
Yes.
But I just think, as Terry said, music is a universal language, but it's also throughout history been a kind of like a catalyst for change. So whenever we evolve or revolutionize as a species, it's usually music is the thing that, you know, sets it off. Exactly. You know, and we have the potential to still do it. I just think once we diminish the disconnect from the so-called old to the so-called new and find that connection, I think it will do this whole generation, this whole life that we call human experience, a service.
Jason, tomorrow night when you folks listening are going to be enjoying the classic sounds of the Dell Vikings, you will now feel and know these individuals, these luminaries, a little bit better. They just won't be up there singing, and you won't be just going back in your own memory, but you'll be appreciating who is originating this beautiful, beautiful music. Todd Baptista, we only have a minute or so left. After how many years now? 20 years or so of producing shows like this?
20 years, yeah. We started with the books, and then we moved on to this. It's been 20 years.
What is it like for you to have a historic reunion like this?
I feel blessed because the people that I idolized as a young boy and that my dad brought me up to follow are the people that I can call friends now, the people I can work with. Yeah. And to me, these events are about giving flowers to the living.
I love that.
That's
I
what
really
it is
do.
for me, because people are always honoring people after they're gone. And to me, you know, we worked with Eddie Rich from the Swallows for a lot of years, and Eddie would say, you know, give me the flowers while I'm around to be able to smell them and enjoy them.
Yeah,
and that's
amen.
what an event like this is about for me. And we've got 4 great groups coming, and they're all rooted in the 1950s and early 60s with original performing and recording members.
And along with this historic reunion with the Dell Vikings,
We have Lala Brooks, the former lead singer of the Crystals. She was the voice of the Do Run Run, and then He Kissed Me. We have the Mystics, 2 original members, including their lead. They did Hushabye, 1959. We have the Orlons coming from Philadelphia, the Frogman bass of all their hits, South Street, Wah-Wah-Tusi, Stephen Caldwell.
look at that,
He'll be
smiles
there.
all over the place. Yeah.
So we've got, and we have a fabulous band, a great group of musicians, Jack Colombo, and they're our secret weapon. All the acts are going to do anywhere from 7 to 10 songs. It's a 3-hour concert, close to 35 songs, and at the end of the night, all the artists come out front. They'll sign autographs. They'll shake hands. You know, some people, when they do these types of events, you have to pay to meet the artist. To us, the artists enjoy the interaction with the people as much as the fans do. It's reciprocal love, and that's why it's important that we do that.
Absolutely. Can you sing? We only have a minute left. Can you do a little a cappella for us?
Oh, God.
Huh? Can you try it? Come on. Can you hear that?
You got to pay to hear the rest.
This is a beautiful first for me, to be in the presence of a beautiful group, the Dell Vikings, a reunion that will bring joy to our hearts along with their music tomorrow night. Remember, good seats are still available, folks. And if there's any one thing I want to share with all of you, it is that I am honored to be here in the presence of such wonderful musicians, vocalists, who have made this a better world. And I want to end on that note, folks, because it is an honor for me to be with you each and every morning. We wake each other up and we have a cup of coffee, we start our days off, and I understand that life needs a good balance, and we also need to be inspired. If I could do one thing, it would be, I would take Ritzy's hat and pass it out to each and every one of you as a present.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're going to have to join us tomorrow night to see them in person. Until then, thank you and God bless.
Thank you.
ABC News is next. Goodbye, everybody. It is 10 a.m. Todd, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was
That was
awesome.
awesome, man.